Alright, this is what we call a yeast starter. So essentially we take the yeast we buy in the store here, California ale yeast, about 10 billion yeast cells in there. We create a small batch of beer the night before. We pitch that in there, and overnight run it on the stir plate, and we increase our cell count to hundreds of billions. Okay, this is our mash water. We've brought it to about 168 degrees. Our target temperature was going to be about 153 degrees. So when we combined the heat dissipation of the mash tun, the cooler, and the heat dissipation from the absorption of the grains that we'll pour in, 168 degrees should get us to about 153 degrees. Okay, this next part is called doughing. This is simply where we pour the grains into the mash tun. With as little plastic as possible. There we go. It's already, if you've ever been to a brewery like BJ's or Stone, and you smell that sweet smell, that's what this smells like right now. Okay. Alright, the temperature was a little low, so I added some hot boiling water and brought it up to 153. So we'll let this sit for an hour, then move on to the next step. It's now time to transfer the mash into the main boil pot. Before we do that, we don't want to just dump it right into the pot, because there'll be, even though we have a filter, there'll be all kinds of little specks and grains that just dump right in there. So we're going to recycle it a couple times, and that'll cause the grains inside to form a natural filter. They'll compact. They'll filter out a lot of those bits, and we'll get just a cleaner work. Pull the valve open. Now this is hot. Okay, now we got a nice clean stream. Okay, now we're sparging. So we're filling this tub up with hotter water, about 175 degrees. And we're gonna rinse all the sugars out. Okay, just like before, we're gonna drain into this thing and recycle it. This time I think it can help you take a look at the color, all the grains and everything that'll be in here, and why we recycle. So just make sure I got this. So you can, I'm not sure how well you can see that, but it's pretty cloudy, lots of grains floating around in there. I'll give you a before and after I've recycled it a few times. Okay, we've recycled it a few times, so let's take a look at our stream. Nice and clear. Alright, the boil started, and I ran out here to prevent it from boiling over. When you initially start to boil, then it's going to foam up big, and it can start just pouring over and going crazy. And whenever you add anything to the boil, it's going to, there's a potential for it to boil over. Alright, we're going to add our first hops here. Measured this out earlier. Stir it up. We just added our hops, and you can see the chemical reactions there while the hops boil. Basically, I think it's just breaking down proteins. The next step is to insert our wort chiller. So this is what we're going to use to cool down the beer when it's done boiling. It's important that we cool down the beer as fast as possible, because it'll be susceptible to bacteria and other agents. So we're going to put this in so it sits in there for 30 minutes so it completely sterilizes. There we go. Alright, we're done with the main boil. So we're going to go ahead and turn off switch gears and we need to quickly start cooling off. See, there we go. So now we got a little heat exchange going. We've reached 75 degrees, so we've begun to transfer this into the fermenter. Just need to get a little bit of a siphon here. Before we pitch the yeast, we need to see what our starting gravity is. So this is called a refractometer. I put a couple drops of the wort right here. I'm just gonna look through this real quick. And we're about 18 bricks. I convert that to gravity. That's about 70. We're now ready to infuse the beer with oxygen. This is a diffusion stone. Takes the oxygen in this bottle and makes it into little tiny bubbles. Okay, just finished my final aeration. You can see it's all bubbled up, and we're ready to pitch the yeast. So we're going to pour our yeast in here. Okay. And that's it. So I hope this to be ready to drink in about 2 to 3 weeks. 2 if I really push it, and 3 to be comfortable. So I guess I think my LWG interview is February 2nd. So should definitely be done by then. So hopefully I'll be, you're all drinking beer right now.